You know from those magical tones that it must be time.
We are here, and it's gonna be a light show tonight.
It could be.
A little background music for us, even.
Wow. Calgon, take me away.
Acoustic cinematic, this is called. Because we're doing cinema, I figured.
Sure.
Welcome to the EriDan Film Festival.
Yes.
What episode is this?
This would be episode 110 of the EriDan Film Festival, movie 137. Brought to you in part by Calgon Baxter.
I am in Texas.
You are in Texas. How is the weather in Texas?
107.
Oh.
In my room, 68. My room is 68, though.
Well, that's good.
I'm at the lovely Hyatt Place at the San Antonio Riverwalk.
Wow. I love the beautiful popcorn ceiling overhead.
Oh, yeah, it is popcorn.
You do. You got some
I
popcorn.
only stay at the highest class places.
Well, I expect nothing less. But this is going to be a fun, interesting, short show. No, this is going to be a good show tonight. We're going to talk movies. If you've never joined us before, this could be your night, even if you've not seen this movie. Because the actual suggester of this movie, it doesn't even look like he's joining us yet. So we went through this really
private chat. He's on his way.
Well, that's good to know. So obviously, if you want to join, EriDanLive.com is how you
simple.
join in. Obviously, you can be in the chat too. You can just chat to us and tell us your thoughts there. And yeah, I think it should be a fun evening. Are you ready?
We should start bringing some people in that are here.
Let's bring some people in.
I'm sorry, Dave. This conversation can serve no purpose anymore.
Dave, not in location.
Hello. No, the usual spot.
Back home.
Back at home base.
That's awesome. How are you, sir?
Doing fine. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm
This is
doing.
the most mellow show we've ever done.
I feel very mellow tonight. This music is not helping.
I'm turning.
You feel very mellow. So you didn't watch the movie today, then?
No.
I finished it this morning before I got on an airplane.
I did get to see another movie earlier today, but we'll talk about that too.
You got a little palate cleanser after Fury.
Yeah, well, we had that too. And again, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's bring in Brian. Appearance 4.
Hey.
Wow.
I said my fourth?
Yeah, you get an intro next time. Eric's gonna have to make one for you.
Awesome. Could I like hang from a ceiling or something like Spider-Man? That'd be cool.
like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible.
Oh.
Yeah, that could be cool too. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, we have a new viewer.
Oh, do we?
And Scott, I mean, he's giving us a tip that I didn't see.
Yeah, I saw that on the trivia.
Shia LaBeouf actually pulled his tooth and hurt his cheek.
And he would periodically recut his cheek as it would heal to make sure it was accurate for the movie.
He actually was shot in the head too. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Huh.
He's a dedicated actor.
That's very interesting. I had no idea.
Welcome to the show, Scott.
All right, let's bring in Brittany.
One ring to rule the moon. One ring.
It's Brittany.
Brittany,
Hello.
hello. How are ya?
I'm Peachy. How are you?
Peachy, I'm working my way back to Peachy.
Working my way back to Peachy.
Yeah, Cody came over and watched the movie here. And then we had like our internet go out partway through. So that put us a few minutes behind, but he should be on any second.
So he was forcing you to make sure you were watching and paying attention.
I know he wanted to watch it with us. He does this thing where he really likes to see my reactions to things.
Oh.
So he's sitting beside the screen watching you while you're watching the movie.
Oh, he's watching the movie and then he looks over at me like this.
It's a lot of their.
I do that to people when I'm watching movies.
Now,
Yeah,
does he do that before something happens because he knows something big's about to happen? It's like, wait till she sees this.
Yeah, but he's like.
So you know when to really focus in.
Yep.
Adam totally forgot to show us tonight. He's right now at the new Thor movie.
Oh
He's
no!
at the theater.
Adam was one of the ones who lobbied for Fury when Cody put out.
No, and he's texting in the movie theater just for our benefit.
I do
And
not
he got the
agree.
notice. Everybody turned their head like, "What is that noise?"
That's right, exactly. Speaking of that noise. Hey, there he is.
The man.
What's up?
Yeah.
I should scooch over a little bit.
Yeah, get yourself in the frame.
Yeah.
How are you?
Oh, just Ducky. How are you?
Ducky. Well, we'll see. No, I'm good. I am very good.
Peach and Duck.
What? Okay. We're gonna do this. Let's talk movies. Let's talk specifically about this movie. Fury. War Never Ends Quietly. From 2014, Brad Pitt, Shia LaBeouf, Logan Lerman, Michael Pena, John Bernthal, and Jason Isaacs in this David Put Your Hands in the Air movie, directed and written with $68 million and a $210 million worldwide gross. Critics 76, audience 84. Where do you land? Let's find out. Cody, why did you pick this movie for us to watch this week?
I picked this movie because I vaguely remembered watching this movie once before. I've only ever seen this movie one other time. And I remember being shocked at how great the cast was for A. And then I remember that I really appreciated the way they depicted a lot of things that happened in war that you just kind of didn't think about, or maybe that I didn't, who knows? Maybe I didn't pay attention enough in school to completely understand it all, but like just seeing it and taking it in a visual way, and just the cool aspect of, tank warfare. That's what it was. I mean, you didn't see a ton of it in the sense of tank on tank, but
I'm not sure I'd call it cool.
It was cool in the sense of like
Cool
for cinematic reasons. I can't name really any other movie offhand that has that this style of tank warfare, showing you what it was really
Battle
like.
of the Bulge.
I haven't seen that one, so that would explain it.
Great tank movie.
Yeah, so I just really enjoyed how they did this, and like I said, I enjoyed the cast. There were moments in this movie that you were like, this is probably what it was like the fighting, the bickering between them, the awkward laughter during moments where you just sometimes you just gotta laugh. I don't know. I just really, really loved this movie, and wanted to watch it again, and figured I'd put it on here. So
awesome. Yeah. Well, that's why we're here. So that's
as far as tank movies go, on the IMDb ranking of tank movies, this is the number one tank movie.
Hey.
Not Tank Girl?
No. Number 2 is Patton.
I guess Patton's a tank movie.
Sahara's 3.
It's more of a persona movie, though.
The Beast of War is number 4.
Out
Out of the Ball is number 7.
Okay.
I'll take that.
There you go. Yeah, I didn't realize that you could just go get a nice meal and play piano in the middle of a war.
Well, that's one of the scenes that I was like understanding more of what happening. He was buying them. He was basically buying the woman,
right,
the younger girl, and then he saw them bond over the piano moment.
He was buying her against her will.
Right.
Well, yeah.
She was not doing that voluntarily.
Oh, I understand completely. But there was an aspect of he had his shirt off, he was ready to go, and then all of a sudden he sees them bonding over the piano and was like, okay, either you take her to the bedroom or I will. Which was a really weird moment of like, I explained this a little bit when we were watching it. I just got back from Brittany Richards, and I was like, it's almost like he cares about this kid, and then it's like, oh, but this is still really cringy and weird and awkward to think about this actually happening.
Yeah,
a lot.
And then the whole crew shows up.
Yeah, well, that was a fun.
I was waiting for a fight in that scene.
Well, you knew it was all going to turn bad eventually, right? It was going to turn, that whole scene was just like, you knew they weren't going to leave that on a pleasant note.
And the only reason there wasn't a fight was because War Daddy doesn't put up with anything. He will let you go so far, and then he puts his foot down, and they respected him enough that they would listen.
Yep.
Well, that's why I
Because
was surprised there wasn't anything, because he did keep letting, and I was waiting for him to be like, okay, like enough, and he just kind of let them.
Well, until he slammed his gun down and said, enough.
Yeah, and then, yeah.
Yeah, that was an awkward scene. And then she got blown up, so it didn't matter.
And so did the piano.
Yeah, big sad.
It's a really nice piano.
It was nice. I will say it was very nice of her to die on top of the rubble.
Yeah, it's very convenient.
Otherwise, that whole scene would take so much longer to play out.
In the original script, and I don't think they showed it, but I didn't have time to go back and rewatch any scenes. But in the original script, which I read part of, yeah, Emma died and was visible through the rubble, although the script had her taking her last breaths, where in the movie she was dead. But they also had Irma like hanging visibly outside the rubble, which I don't think they showed.
No.
I wonder if there's like an unrated version that probably has some of like extra clips of.
There are extras on the Blu-ray apparently, but it's mostly more backstory about War Daddy and Norman, and why War Daddy pushed Norman around so much and was so hard on him initially, and things like that.
Which might have been interesting, because I didn't feel, I don't know. When I'm obviously I'm not a big fan of this kind of movie in general. And obviously I'm going to compare it to Saving Private Ryan, right? Because war. And I feel like I didn't feel the same towards these characters as I did during Saving Private Ryan. I didn't feel that there was a lot to care about for most of the cast.
Yeah, you didn't get a lot of backstory from any of them.
Until they died.
Yeah, until they died.
And then we're like, all right. We felt
I knew which one of them was going to die first. I said it. I was like, he's the sad one that doesn't want to be there. He's going to die first, just like Francois in Timeline.
I love Timeline.
Yeah, we did watch that one.
I do. I love that movie.
But that's how
Time
it always
travel.
is.
Yeah.
It's the guy who's sad, and it's the guy who doesn't want to be there, and it's the guy who's uncomfortable, and that's the guy that dies first.
But it's also the guy that survived. Because Norman didn't want to be there.
Oh, true.
Well,
He's like, I can type 60 words a minute. That's what I was trained to do.
Yeah.
yeah,
And that was
but
one of the more unrealistic scenes I
his
thought.
attitude shifted very much.
The German soldier shining the flashlight under the tank and seeing him there and just walking away did not read true.
That did not happen.
That was, I understand why they did that though.
I understand why they did it, but it didn't read true to me.
Oh yeah. Just reflective on how he started.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, I mean, if they shoot him, that ends the movie 5 minutes sooner.
True.
And they're like, oh, everybody died. Oh well.
I also don't agree with how it ended, in the sense that they wouldn't have put him on that medical wagon. They would have gave him a gun and said, let's go.
Well, no, because they were it was the end of the war.
Oh, was it?
That's how
I thought they
took it.
were just marching on to the
I
next
thought
thing.
that was the war's over, and that happened because isn't that around when the war ended?
Oh, you're right.
No, and in general too, American troops didn't just take a shell-shocked battle survivor and just shove a gun in his hand and say keep going in a field of war, like in an arena of war like that, where there were still plentiful troops. I mean, the Germans were much more hard up. That's why they're putting kids out in the field, which they did portray in this.
Yeah,
as young as 12.
I mean,
but I feel like you did see a little bit of that in something like Saving Private Ryan, where it was like, okay, you're not injured, you grab a gun and we'll add you to the next group that goes through. Like,
but to
it also depends.
The fact that it was like, you're a hero, get off to end the movie, and it was just kind of like
very anticlimactic. You're a hero at the end.
Yeah, we don't know what else to say, so let's just wrap this up.
It was like I don't really like gory movies, and I don't like realistic gory movies. Like Stranger Things, whatever. It's a fake monster. I can do it. Like this last season was really pretty gory in a lot of ways. Like, some of the deaths and stuff. But like I can do that. But like the realistic stuff, like I'm just too emotional for it. Like because it's very real. Like that happened. Those like
Yeah.
You know, those are very real things, and so that's always really hard to watch.
But that's
Yeah.
and I agree with you, but that's also part of the point. A filmmaker who's trying to not glorify the war, who's
Right.
not trying to make a hero movie out of it, who's trying to make the horrors of war, which you can never do, but as much as you can, make them visceral to the viewers and make that how horrific that was. I did read a really interesting interview with a Sherman tank communications officer who actually served very similar. And he said, other than not portraying a couple of things, he thought it was mostly pretty accurate, which I thought was pretty credible. He said the big standoff scene would not have gone that way, and also that it portrayed some of the horrors of war. But he said the one thing it cannot portray that he will never forget and still haunts him is the smell.
Mm-hmm.
Just the horrific smell of charred flesh,
Mm-hmm.
of gasoline, and just everything burning. Just
Plus, they weren't
You
taking
never
showers either.
Right. And when you're in the tanks that are probably really warm,
And that one had like body parts and blood in it that he had to clean out.
yeah, the face.
I will say that the inside of that tank looked bigger than your hotel room then.
Probably was.
Another thing was accurate was, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say the reviews I was reading about it seemed to go back and forth, where some were like very realistic, very on point, and a lot of the reviews that were more negative felt that it was a little.
You broke up there.
People very specifically getting their heads blown off instantly, right? Like just a lot of cool because we can do it kind of shots, and not necessarily making you feel, going for that more cinematic look as opposed to realistic.
One thing that was realistic was the difference in firepower and armament between the Tigers and the Shermans. I mean, that actually was accurate. Sherman shells, unless you had one of the more advanced later versions with the right gun at the right range, your shells would bounce off those Tigers. They had 4-inch thick armor, which is part of the reason they got 5 gallons to the mile.
I did think that was an interesting thing that they said that in the front of the movie, how America was outgunned, outmatched.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
That was a big problem with the Tigers because Germany didn't have the fuel production to keep that going, and that's one of the great scenes in Battle of the Bulge, which is a movie that it's not nearly as visceral as this, but it's a good war movie, a good tank movie. The lack of fuel, and that's one of their highest motivating problems in the German army is the fuel for these things, because they were just monsters as far as slurping fuel.
Speaking of slurping fuel, what was that noise?
Huh?
Should we score?
No, I'm sorry. I got to turn on my do not disturb. So, please talk amongst yourself.
Well, I thought maybe we should start the scoring.
Are we gonna score? Oh, that's right. We do have to.
We're gonna do a 1 hour show tonight.
So that's right. So let's move ahead and score. Right.
Cody, you picked it. You scored.
Yeah, I know. No, I know. I do. I really enjoy this movie. And it sounds weird to say. It's so weird when you talk about war movies, because I don't enjoy war, but I enjoy when I feel like a movie is depicted well to give you the emotions or the understanding of things that you didn't experience. Which again, you can't really get the smell out of this until they come out with a smell TV. And I agree that Saving Private Ryan had a little bit more of, I shouldn't even say a little bit, it had a good amount more of the character development to where you actually felt for the characters. But I felt like this crew, this cast specifically, did a good job at playing their characters and playing the roles and the things that, like, the bickering and the arguing of things that I never even, you don't think about that, but that probably happened a lot between people stuck in a tank together the whole time. And just overall the cinematic aspect of it, I loved the like the Brittany asked, like, what bullets weren't colors, and we're like, oh, they're tracer rounds, like it's so you can see where you're shooting. Granted, you could see basically all the shots, not even just the tracers. But I just thought it was very well done. The film was good. The story of like depicting their journey, even though I felt like the plot could have been more, seeing them lead up to that moment and then being like, I'm not going anywhere. Like, we're fighting this out. Again, maybe not realistic, but I just enjoyed the movie. I don't know what else to say. When this movie's on TV, I love to sit down and watch it. So I will give this a 91.
Right, a 91. Brittany, we'll go over to you. Keep it in the family.
Man, I'll have to see. I know Richard's watching the baby for me, so I know he's going to score it too. Like I said, the gory stuff is hard. The realistic stuff, I just like. I feel like I could just sit and cry the whole movie. Like my heart just breaks. I appreciate, the way that they bring awareness to people like me who kind of just try to tune it out and forget that it doesn't happen because it's just easier. But I wouldn't sit down and watch this movie again on purpose. It was very well done. I agree with Cody. The cast, the main five did really good job kind of playing their roles together. I'm going to say 82.
All righty. Brian, you did not watch it, right?
No, I did not.
So we'll go over to Gordo.
Yeah, I knew I was coming next. This is a hard one for me to score because this falls into that category of film that I respect but don't enjoy. And Brad Pitt's done a couple of those. Seven is another movie, a Brad Pitt movie that is really well made, and I've seen it once, and I don't think I will ever see it again because it is just too rough. It's just too hard to watch, and so. And I can enjoy a war movie. If you have the right kind of war movie, I can, and weird, as Cody says, feels weird to say, but I can enjoy a war movie. This one I didn't enjoy, but I did appreciate it. And I did respect the filmmaking involved and the attempt to be as realistic as possible and not glorify this horrific war. I really struggle.
Sorry, jeez.
My background music, really, that's what I mainly struggle with.
Oh, did you feel that? So sorry.
So I always have trouble rating movies like this, so I'm going to just sort of pick 80, but I don't really know why.
Sure.
All right. Richard says war movies continue to push the threshold of how much gore they can put on the screen. Accurate or not, this movie definitely was theatrical. Bottom line is the movie production was really good. Realism suffered a little for me. 71 from Richard.
All right.
I kind of agree with what Dave just said. As far as movies go, it's a good movie. As far as the type of movie, I would not watch it again. I don't need to see more war movies. I agree with Brian.
Yeah, I really don't.
But I had to watch it because,
That's why we're.
and I started it last night and I finished it this morning when I got up before I got on an airplane. Luckily, I didn't take a tank to Texas. Although it's hot enough here, I feel like I'm inside one. Dave's right. I mean, it's a good movie. I'm gonna go 80 also. Sorry, Dave, I stole your score.
Quite all right.
There you go. I'm not sure this is a good movie. It's fine. To me, it's offering nothing new, right? This is just war as hell. We get it, right? It's a bully movie. It's a macho bully movie, which I don't like at all. So to me, it just makes it so much worse when you're trying to get through the war as hell and people can't be nice and people can't. And I get it. War sucks. And I get all of that and the killing and all that certainly changes who you are as a person. I'm not, I don't want sunshine and roses in my war movie, but I just felt like this is just a movie trying to manipulate the viewer. And you could say every movie is doing that, of course. But I don't know. Why? I just didn't understand why it existed. And so it was fine, but I ended up at a 60. Because it's like, if I'm going to compare this to Saving Private Ryan, which I gave an 85, that was a movie I could truly get behind. And I felt something, and I felt for the characters, and I felt the just the terribleness that is war. This felt like It was just sort of like, look how bad we can make this look, and look how terrible we can make you see how how deprived humanity had gotten. And it's like, I didn't need that. So that's my takeaway.
All right.
That's
And,
actually why I didn't want to watch it, because I expected it would be something like that.
So we're gonna hold off. Obviously, I don't think we're gonna get and I get that 100%, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really struggled when Brad Pitt forced him to kill that guy. I don't know. That was because I put myself in that position. Like, how would I feel if somebody literally put the gun in my hand and held my hand and made forced me to pull the trigger?
Yeah,
that's always done in crime movies, like gangs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So obviously, we're not going to give out a score yet, of course, because I think Adam will give a score when he gets through with his rather long Marvel movie. And so, if we hear from him from the night, if you're curious, currently it sits at a 77.33. But we'll see where we end up after we get Adam's score. But we need
the writers.
And writers, if the writers watched it, I don't know. This is not a
I was
Stacey
going to say,
movie.
I doubt Stacey watched this one.
But there are planes.
Barely.
Yeah.
There was that one scene with a lot of planes.
Yeah, you'd have to. I don't think Stacey likes playing this that much. But hey, that's all right. We appreciate those who made it through. And I know Zach didn't watch as well because he was unable to watch this week. So, all right. Well, let me see. I think we're ready. We're ready. I think I want to say maybe we're ready for to spin a wheel. Maybe.
Yeah.
Up the wheel. Hold on. I gotta add everybody's spots for being here this week. We've got quite a few people. I don't know. I'm not gonna. If somebody's name comes up, obviously who isn't here, we will. We'll just spin again. We'll just let it go and spin again. But hold on. It's gonna take a second. I did not get my normal prep. Let me see. The disadvantage of the picker wheel system. Let me see. Hold on, I got to clear out last week's list. I better do. But I'm almost there.
We prepare and we rehearse this show so much.
We did. This is just rehearsal, isn't it? This will be much better when we do the real thing. I promise.
Adam's actually here in case he gets picked, but he can't hear anything because he's in the Thor movie. Come on, Adam.
That's awesome.
I want to see the Thor movie.
I love it. He's so prepared. This is so much more important. I love it. All right, here we go. There's our very colorful wheel. And obviously, as I said, if somebody gets picked who's not here, there's our very colorful. There we go. There's a shuffle.
Look at that score.
Whoa. Oh, wow. Look at that. Holy smokes.
I'll take it.
From Adam, yeah, you definitely should take that.
That's like
We knew he liked it. He was in support of watching it.
He definitely was pushing for it. Well, let's find out who gets to choose for next Monday. I think Monday. There we go. Some sound. And the wheel favors up. See,
Not here.
why you can't not miss. So we're gonna not choose Stacey, and we're gonna spin it again. And
This could easily be spun a couple times.
Oh yeah.
there's got a few names here from people. Who,
I'll have to let me text my mom. Hold on.
all right,
She hasn't come up in so long.
I know your mom has not come up. Honestly, Dan's poor mom has like 18 spots on the wheel.
Well, she was going to pick Fury, so
I'm sure. That's actually that would be fantastic. So see, I do feel if she is available,
she was going to pick Fury, but she had it confused with another movie. So
that's very possible. The Secret Life of Pets.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Very similar.
Yeah, it's very similar. I could see why it'd be very easy to get those confused.
I mean, we could talk a little bit about what else we're watching while we wait. And if she doesn't come back, we'll spin it again.
All right, I like that. Let's do it. All right.
And Brittany disappears.
Oh no!
Magic trick.
She vanished just like that.
Adam, obviously, what else is he watching? He's watching Thor.
Well, yes, and I did see Thor earlier today.
Don't talk about it.
And I will disagree with Adam.
Pretty bad.
That it is not pretty good. I will be on the other side of Adam's thoughts on the Thor movie and say that it made me very sad.
You originally said that for Black Widow, though.
Don't. Why would you even say that it made you sad?
No, it's not the plot that made me sad. It's the actual value of the movie that made me sad.
Okay.
No, there's nothing about the plot. Well, there is maybe, but no. Honestly, I'm just
Cody's eyes right now
because it was just not good. It's I don't want to taint anybody's experience, so I won't say anything else. But I did not. Adam's enjoying it. I'm not. So maybe if you agree with Adam more often than you agree with me, you'll love it still.
Well, on the airplane, I finally watched Licorice Pizza.
That's on my list, but I haven't watched it yet.
They don't mention Licorice Pizza once.
That's just false advertising.
It's like the song Bohemian Rhapsody. They never say Bohemian Rhapsody anywhere in the song.
So, Brittany, did you get a chance to watch the closing credits of Super 8?
I did. I don't know that I mean, it was cute, but I don't know that it would have changed my score at all.
Okay.
It was cute, though. I'm glad I went back and watched it.
It changed it for me.
Richard and I got this new it's like an adventure like dating book thing, and it's like everything's like black and you have to pick one based on like the time limit, and it's like inside or outside, or this one involves food, or this one you need a babysitter, this one involves going somewhere, but you can't see what it is. You have to scratch it off, and then once you scratch it off, you commit to doing it. So
I love it.
It's super fun. So we did our first one yesterday. I know Cody's going to be really bummed, but we scratched one off because his mom was coming over to watch the baby, and it was go to a restaurant you've never been, and ask the person who's serving you what their 2 favorite meals are. Get those 2 meals. And as soon as you're done with dinner, go to the movies and buy tickets for whatever the next movie is. It doesn't matter. Like,
whoa.
Like, so you can't, it's the very next movie. So for us, it was Thor. So I know Cody wanted to see it with us, but that was the next one that was showing. So we ended up seeing it. And I think Richard would agree with you. He was not a fan.
You chose a little piece of scratch off over Cody.
Well, once you scratch it off, you can't unscratch it off.
You can leave and go back to the movies for the next movie.
We were on a time limit. We had a babysitter, and we said,
They're committed to the bit. They're committed to the bit.
Committed.
Yeah,
to
it's
trauma.
really fun though. We enjoyed it. And we went to a place we've never been, and it's food I probably would not have eaten on my own. So that was kind of cool.
It gets increasingly dark though. There's some that like kill a hobo and.
Oh
I'll let
no!
you know when that one comes up. That's one of the messy ones.
That's crazy. That's awesome.
Okay, this just in.
Oh,
we have a movie for next week.
Oh no.
And we have a score for this week.
Oh,
she watched it.
Oh, wow.
Yes, she didn't watch it today. She fell asleep, and she's like, "Oh wow, it is. Your show is on Sunday. Sorry." For the movie this week, she gives it a 60. Not her type of movie.
Same as Eric did. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I said, "Well, what do you want to watch for next week?" She goes, "Well, I could go the opposite way. I mean, how about Fiddler on the Roof?" I go, "Really?" And she goes, "No, that was a joke." and then she goes, "Maybe Schindler's List." I go, "No, we've seen enough. No World War II."
Another World War II movie right away.
So she decided to go with the movie she had said before, which was Don't Look Up on Netflix.
Oh, that was hers.
Yes.
That's right.
I feel like I've heard of this.
It's a really...
It was all the rage for a brief while.
Yeah. Don't Look Up.
All right.
It is...
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill. Meryl Streep is the president.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep.
That was the one where they kept calling Meryl Streep the goat, and she thought it was sort of she's not getting good stride, but she thought they were sort of calling her an old goat and didn't realize what goat stood for.
Greatest of all time.
That's awesome. Well, that's great. And I'm glad that your mom's gotten a chance to pick a movie. It's been a long time. That's great. Awesome. Don't Look Up. Wonderful. Hey, so the other thing, so our palate cleanser after Fury, which I really do think you need some sort of palate cleanser after Fury, was Jurassic World Dominion, which may be one of the worst movies ever.
Okay, so this is funny. So I flew here with Aaron, who I work with, and on the plane, that's what he watched. And I was watching the Licorice Pizza.
And I was so convinced. I'm like, because I've heard that wasn't awesome, but I'm like, but I'm a fan. I love the franchise. I'm sure it's fine. It's not fine. It's really not.
I don't know what the last Jurassic Park movie I watched was.
Oh,
Yeah.
If it wasn't the first one, you
Yeah.
wasted your time.
But Jeff Goldblum.
I mean, I love the first one for sure.
Oh man.
Even Jeff Goldblum couldn't save it, huh?
No. To me, it just highlighted the fact that pretty much they felt like they've done all the cool ideas, the fun ideas, the flashback ideas, the inclusion of, the old vehicles or whatever. They've done all of that they could possibly think of. And this was just, it's I don't know. It was hard to get through, but we needed something after Fury, and after that, it was like, well, that was worse than Fury.
Wow.
Oh man. Do we want to talk about Stranger Things?
Ooh, you finished. That's right.
I did.
Finished.
I did.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I don't know who's had not had the chance to finish.
Is there anyone who needs earplugs? Like it's like or not to listen? I don't know.
Did we all finish this season? Is everybody here finished?
I finished
I don't
this.
care, so go ahead.
You don't care.
I have spoilers for season 5, so
Oh, I mean, I figured out some things of season 5. I do that, unfortunately, just because I like to write and I love movies, so I like figure out the plot lines, how it's gonna go. But I really liked it.
The Duffer Brothers have a spinoff that they said will be happening.
A spinoff.
And I hope it's Steve and Dustin.
Steve and Dustin babysitting.
Ooh,
No, Private Eyes.
yeah. Something, yeah. You have to, yeah. Dustin's my favorite in that show. Like and I don't know how much we can say without like if people are watching that don't want to hear anything about it, but like that last
Nobody's
episode.
yelling at this point. I'm looking if anybody in the comments
Right.
No,
Yeah,
I think
nobody's
they're
saying anything. I think you're fine.
Okay.
good.
Yeah. That last episode, like I literally cried when Eddie and like Dustin had him like in his arms. I cried.
Yo, no, I cried when Eddie talked to his
And he
dad.
was talking to his
Or not
Oh,
Eddie.
Dustin,
Yeah,
Dustin.
Dustin.
Oh yeah, I cried then too
Oh,
for sure. Yeah.
Yes.
That was.
I mean, I felt like Eddie had to go.
Well,
I mean,
he had to.
He
Every
did.
year they have one person that's
Yeah.
one season.
I
one
knew
year.
he was going to, but he did not have to be the one. And Jason was the one last week that I was like, it was not enough.
It's okay. Don't worry. Eddie will be back.
It was not enough. Like he just totally like it died quick. It was painless. Like he didn't get to find out that he was wrong the whole time, and Eddie was totally innocent and trying to help people. Like, and he's the reason Max is
Jason,
all
I
backed
couldn't
up
think of-
because he stepped on her Walkman.
Yeah.
So it's all Jason's fault that Max
Yeah.
is mostly dead. Like
Jason, he.
I do not like him. I hate
Yeah,
him.
what's with a 34-year-old basketball player at the high school? I never understood that.
The White Shadow.
He was
Oh.
way too old. And I'm sorry, basketball players don't walk around wearing the Letterman's jacket all the time.
Right.
I think people know.
You
hey,
did.
I love the game.
I
What?
thought he
I didn't
made
wear
me
mine all the
frightened.
time.
Who was
Like,
who was the sidekick in the White Shadow? The young blonde guy, because he always wore his jacket.
Yeah.
I thought there was a young blonde. I thought the coach was the only person that was.
There was
white.
there was another guy. I can't remember his name. I will have to look it up.
I think it was the one
Denny
we were just talking
Barbarino?
about.
All right, wrong show.
The inciting the riot thing was like intense. And then like they're like going around the town and everything, and so like every time they show him with the jacket and everything, and I loved that line that who said it? I gotta remember exactly. It's like something about Lucas said it about being popular, and popular is a raging maniac or something.
Mhm.
I was like, yes, so true.
No,
In my
it wasn't
experience.
just not for me. And Jason's gonna be the town hero because he gave his life trying to solve mysteries, and Eddie's just gonna. Everybody's gonna be glad that the murderer's dead when he wasn't the murderer. Makes me mad.
Yeah.
Justice for Eddie.
He did really well throughout the. I think he did. Yeah. The
I did
actor.
see a funny meme today though that the what's the name of the song?
Puppet Master.
Yeah, the Puppet Master came out March 3rd that year, and spring break was typically in March, so technically he had 2 weeks with no internet and no chords to learn that entire song. Like he had to do it all by ear.
Nice.
There are people who do that.
Oh, I'm sure. But
I mean,
in between, failing all of his classes, barely graduating, week-long D&D sessions,
Sure,
and
yeah.
selling drugs on the side, he learned this beautiful song that he just destroyed in the Upside Down.
me and Cody used to do covers of stuff
Oh,
I know.
a long
It's
time
gonna come
ago,
back.
and we did one of Frozen, the song when Frozen just came out, and I did that by ear.
Yep.
Like I learned it real quick, and then we sang it with was it Zach? Was Zach in on that?
Yeah,
It was Zach and Amy, I think.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was fun.
That was a great time. That's on video somewhere.
Somewhere maybe.
I actually have it right. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
I had to like get rid of a lot of my cover stuff. I don't know. I probably didn't like put it right in the titles or something, and you know how they are about
Facebook pulling everything down.
yeah.
I did watch Now You See Me Too.
Oh.
I did
That's
end up
good.
watching that one. It's good. It wasn't bad. I
It's
liked how
not-
they tied. It definitely
but-
wasn't the first one, but I liked
Yeah.
how they tied everything in, and that was nice. What
Yeah,
else?
it's not terrible. It's just it doesn't.
No,
live
it's
up
just,
to
it
quite
wasn't the
the-
first one.
Right.
Yeah,
Magic. The
Daniel Radcliffe was a bit of a stretch in that one.
I laughed really hard when I saw
Yeah.
him. Yeah.
Well, one thing I wanted to share with everybody is Amazon Prime is doing a bunch of specials for Prime Day where you can get Paramount Plus for 99 cents a month
Oh.
for a year. So like $12 you get the whole year. And I
Oh.
think they're doing it with Stars and with Showtime.
Wow.
So that could expand
Now,
your
what's
universe.
on Paramount Plus that would be an enticement to do that?
I don't
The
know.
offer is
Star
really
Trek, Strange New Worlds.
We have Paramount.
Well, yeah,
Plus
they do have
25.
Star Trek stuff. See, Paramount Plus didn't work very well for me on my PlayStation. I had tons of technical problems. So
You also have a ton of like CBS shows, old shows.
You know, they were
have-
heavily related with CBS, but
They have
Yeah,
I
MTV,
just
so
wasn't
I got to
sure-
rewatch Teen Wolf.
I
You
wasn't
have
sure what the
Cheers.
impression was. Wasn't sure I got the-
Taxi's on there. Frasier's on there. Family Ties, Happy
That-
Days, Wings.
New
wow.
one, The Lost City with Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum's on there. I
Yeah.
haven't seen that one,
The
but
Brady Bunch, I Love Lucy.
Yeah, nope, don't need that even for 99
Where's
cents.
the monkey streaming?
Thank you.
it was YouTube's, right?
Yeah, there's just some episodes on YouTube, and for
Yeah.
who knows?
yeah.
how
Did
long.
you send a link for those? Because I didn't
I
get them.
did. It's on the Facebook page. I
Oh.
posted it on Facebook.
Okay, I thought it was
Um,
going to be in the chat. That's what.
Oh, sorry. I can put it in the chat.
no,
But I figured this way you could refer to it later if it was on Facebook.
that's smart.
Yes. Also on Facebook is the rankings for Fury at a 76.1 to 3.
I'll take it.
Just
Right in-
being
right
beat
in
out
between
by the
Hoosiers.
Naked Gun.
It
Great
probably
place
would
to
have
be.
been higher up if Dan's mom hadn't scored it so low. It was after Adam's score. It would have been up there.
Yeah, I would
They
have taken
beat
it. up a
Hoosiers.
little.
That's very sad.
I did watch the series Reacher on Amazon Prime,
Oh, I love that.
which is so much better than the Tom Cruise movies. That character needs a physically intimidating hero, and Tom Cruise just didn't work. A
No.
5'7" guy trying to play a 6'4" guy. It's just not really working. Unless you surround him with Peter Dinklage and a few others, it's never going to work.
Vern Troyer is a sidekick, although he died, so I guess not.
But it was really good. I mean, it wasn't perfect, but it was really good.
To the lost city.
I started a couple of the first episodes of The Flash, so that was fun.
Ooh, just now.
Yeah, just now. Yeah, I know. I'm a little behind on it.
Wow.
Trying to build up to the movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if the movie will be good, but I'm really
the movie's
liking it.
embroiled in all kinds of controversy over Ezra Miller right now. But
Right.
We really enjoyed the first season. Actually, like the first 4 or 5 seasons of The Flash. And then it gets a little long in the tooth.
It's usually like 4 seasons before a show kind of just doesn't do well anymore.
I thought it was a show about Roscoe P. Coltrane's dog on Dukes of Hazzard. Turns out, a different show.
I love Dukes of Hazzard. I can't even do his laugh, but I love it.
Get them Duke boys killed.
Wow.
They people are like, they hate on that show because of certain things and all that kind of stuff, but I love it. I watched it when I was younger, and
Nice.
yeah.
Well, now it's considered, it's kind of a pro-slavery racist show.
Yeah, that's what people say.
It did bring the phrase Daisy Dukes into popular culture.
That's true.
Right, and the outfit, right? Yeah,
And the outfit that goes with it.
Not trying to backtrack, but Rich says, without going into detail, I told Brittany if I were to rate Love and Thunder on EriDan, it was a 65.
Oh no.
Yeah. I might agree with that, or a little lower.
See, I haven't seen the trailer because I don't watch Marvel trailers. I just get to them when I get to them.
No.
And oh man, that's sad. I like the first Thor movie a lot.
I agree with what he said. I don't want to say anything. Eric will have to talk later, and so I can see what you didn't like about it, because I agree with Richard on the reasons that he didn't like. I still enjoyed it, but I agree with him why he didn't like it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. We'll talk offline. I
But I
definitely
was
have
told
some thoughts.
you have to go into it thinking you're going into a comedy. Like, you can't
Well,
go into it expecting a Marvel superhero movie.
Waititi is a very odd director. I mean, his stuff's all over the map. I mean, we watched Jojo Rabbit,
Yes.
on EriDan,
I
and
adore.
a very.
And I love Ragnarok. I love Ragnarok, and that to me is a comedy.
Yes, it is.
You know.
And I love Ant-Man, which is basically a
Written by
comedy.
my friend Chris.
Yes.
He didn't write this one.
I'm going to save any comments we have for a couple of weeks.
Good.
For this forum. But yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just not what I wanted it to be. Let's leave it at that. But yeah. And I've been watching. I continue my Seinfeld watch, which has been awesome.
I mean, how it just I just read an article. They were talking about shrinkage. How like that was not a term.
Oh, I remember that.
And they interviewed a doctor,
episode.
and the doctor said, "Yeah, there's actually no medical term, and now we all refer to it as shrinkage." What else can you refer to it as?
How after seeing that? Yeah. How can you say anything else? Yeah. That
I'm going
episode.
through my script right now, thinking, how can I find a catchphrase somewhere in here?
One of Jason Alexander's finest moments.
That's true.
I was in the pool.
He's hilarious. Oh my goodness.
It's quite.
Shrinkage.
And Elaine's
down there.
reaction, like, it shrinks?
Oh. Wasn't there a part in that? It was like, didn't a girl like see him naked too?
Yeah, well, that's what
She sees him because everybody sees his dates. He brings a girl to the Hamptons, which actually happened to the writer, to Peter Melman. He brought a date to the Hamptons, and everybody else saw her. She went topless on the beach, but him. Oh no, he saw his friend's girlfriend's breasts on the beach, and he's like, "I just got a free show," and he's like, taking her out to dinner and stuff, spending money.
Crazy.
And that's also when the doctor says, "Look at the baby; it's breathtaking." Right after saying that Elaine is breathtaking, it's like the ugliest baby. You gotta see the baby.
Oh yeah.
I haven't watched any monkeys yet, though. I did hear
haven't either.
Daydream Believer on the radio just today, though.
Maybe it's a sign. Maybe it's a sign that you're supposed to be watching the monkeys.
Come on, cheer up the sleeping Gene.
You know, and I know how much you guys love these TikTok mashups, so I found yet another one of these.
I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. He'd let us in, knows where we've been in his octopus's garden in the shade. I'd ask my friends to come and see an octopus's garden with me. We would sing.
All right, that's enough of that. That's plenty.
Yeah, that's plenty. That's more than plenty.
That's
It's a song. As much as I love the Beatles, it's a Beatles song I've never cared for. So
there you go.
They have some interesting lyrics sometimes.
So
well,
if
it's
anybody,
Ringo wasn't much of a songwriter.
if anybody in the comments would like to say anything about what you're watching, we have a lot of lurkers tonight. It feels like.
Interesting.
Like, put a comment out. You don't have to come on the show. You can just type it in the comments or whatever.
Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your deepest, darkest secrets.
Whether you're on YouTube, it seems like most people are on YouTube right now.
Interesting.
We have one on Twitch.
That's me.
Oh, hello.
Nice.
Just making sure you get a view
We're
over
one
there.
on
That's
Facebook.
all.
We appreciate the love there.
We're mainly on YouTube right now. That's kind of cool. YouTube's growing for us. I did some hashtags for the first time in a while, so that might have helped. Brad Pitt.
Right.
I'll do it.
Did
Shia
it.
LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf's an odd dude.
He really is. I don't know. I go back and forth how I feel about him. I think he did a great job in this movie. I really liked his role, but
Yeah,
I want to see Bullet Train. Does that count for anything?
I don't know. I still want to watch Peanut Butter Falcon thing, whatever that one was with Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
Is that the one? That's the one with the Down syndrome kid, right?
Yes.
That is such a good movie.
I haven't seen it yet. I want to.
Okay, that'll be on my EriDan list then, and I'll add it. That is such a good one. Seriously.
The trivia on Fury said that he didn't get along with really much any of the other cast members. He stayed in a separate Airbnb from everybody else.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Probably a more expensive.
Or not Airbnb, bed and breakfast, excuse me.
It could be Airbnb. They were around back then.
8 years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You know why Airbnb is called Airbnb?
I assume the B&B stood for bed and breakfast, but I don't know.
And the air is for arrows, an airbed. Some guys in San Francisco bought a bunch of airbeds because they had some people there was some event going on, and they rented them out. They made like a bread and breakfast with airbeds. So it was called Airbnb. And then that's how it grew. Something to that effect.
Or you just made that whole thing up.
Or that. It could be like the Liars Club. Who's telling the truth?
Oh, that was a fun show.
Oh,
Alan Ludden.
Larry Storch.
Betty White.
Larry Storch just died.
Yes, he did. 99.
Wow. Made it all so close.
Well, Betty White died at 99 also, didn't she? Or was
Yeah.
it? George Burns made it to 100, but he had always said he was going to do a show on his 100th birthday, like Carnegie Hall or something. He actually had it booked, and he survived to 100.
Caesar's Palace.
Caesar's Palace it was. Okay.
Yeah.
His health was too poor that final year for him to do it. Yeah.
That sucks.
All right. And James Caan, may he rest in peace.
Yeah. I should rewatch The Godfather sometime.
Watch The Offer first.
Another very violent movie, but so well made.
It is.
I didn't
Could
like
watch
the
Rollerball.
sequels very much, but I like the first one was good.
Well, Godfather 2 is considered one of the best sequels ever.
Yeah,
I think it was the
Godfather-
third one that I didn't like.
Yeah, the
then.
third,
Yeah,
once
third
you
one-
get
Third one's the third one's a
Yeah.
big step down. Sofia Coppola wasn't up to the role, and it was
Yeah.
Well, I think the
I didn't
second
like
one
the
was
way-
still part of the book.
And the second one also had De Niro with all the flashbacks. It was
A little bit.
it was a good movie.
A little bit. All right. Well,
All right,
we
then.
want to do a
Well,
tight show. We're at 50.
But I know Dan has a commitment. Dan has a thing. So we can let Dan go to his thing and we can start
Oh,
watching.
you're just going to keep going?
Huh?
You're just going to keep going without me? I thought.
No, I think we're going to wrap it up. I think we wrap it. I think we wrap it up. We call it a short show.
We are Monday next week, right?
We are Monday. We're back on normal. I will be on remote. But yeah, it should be fun. So yeah, next Monday night, 8:00. Don't look up.
And Saturday we'll be doing Clutch Radio again, potentially from a mystery vehicle like we did this past week. We were in an 81 Chevy Monte Carlo with a ridiculous engine inside of it. Not under the hood, just actually sitting in the back seat.
Oh,
but
nice.
no, it's got this 350, just ridiculous engine.
Wow.
It's what they call a sleeper. So you're sitting at a red light and somebody's like, oh, look at the old grandpa car. And then you just blow them away. Very fast.
Well, then you're going to
And
demonstrate
then this week, the car will not be that fast.
You're doing a Yugo.
Fair
Pretty
enough.
close.
Awesome.
All right. Well,
So Don't Look Up streaming on Netflix.
it is a Netflix movie. Yeah.
Netflix
Got
movie. So, from 2021. So,
It was shot during the pandemic.
jumping back to a newer movie. Awesome. All right. Well, enjoy that. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all. See ya. Bye.
In case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.